plan to come in for this phone. We were trying to figure it out, and then I tried to go live on the pre-scheduled event, and YouTube was crazy. It was crazy. So I'm going to give everybody a few seconds to jump on over here, because I know there was like 5 people waiting on the other event, which is unfortunate. So tonight we're going to be making loaded Mexican breakfast burritos. We're eating them for dinner. I have a ton of eggs right now. On my counter I have, I don't even know, 10 dozen or more eggs sitting over here. And the dust, etc., has gone to the lungs now instead of the nose. So I'm not sinus anymore. Now I'm congested in the lungs. So you're going to hear me sounding congested, maybe a few coughs. Feeling just fine. Okay, so breakfast burritos. So let's go for that. Let's see how well this Bree's making the tortillas. See how well this new stand works. So what I've done in the meantime here is I scrambled up 16 eggs in 1 cup of milk, and then just salt and pepper, because eggs are one of the big ingredients. And then back here on the burner I have some, this is ground beef. You could use breakfast sausage if you wanted to. This is ground beef actually mixed up with some ground beef heart. About 1.5 pounds. And I'm just sauteing it. Like I said, Bree is making the beautiful tortillas in the back there. These are the ones she's already made. They're so pretty. So, as soon as this is done, we're going to transfer it into another bowl and make the third stuffing item. I don't know if that bowl's going to be big enough. Doesn't look like it. Let's see about one of these. I don't know, maybe a plate? I'll get a plate. Do you need a flipper?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and start on hash browns. This is a really simple project for me, but only because of my chopper. I'm going to advertise it again, even though I don't make anything off of it. So I'm just going to use that little blade there. And topic I want to discuss tonight is the topic of a variety of diets. This is on my mind because I had somebody who's been watching my channel for a very long time reach out to me about her ideas about going carnivore. And I'm just going to come out and say that I don't believe there's one diet that helps everyone. And that's why I like the Weston A. Price Foundation, because they just tell you what foods are good for you and which ones you should avoid, and then you can tailor it to what your body specifically needs. So I'm just going to take these yellow potatoes and just chop them in half to make hash browns. Anyway, so you'll never, just so you know, if you ever reach out to me via email or in the comments down below, I'm not going to endorse one particular diet. I know a lot of people have had great success on carnivore. I've had people not have good success on carnivore because for their bodies it doesn't have enough enzymes. There's just too many factors to say one is the cure-all for everyone. Okay, so this is how cool it is, right? Gonna be hash browns in about 2 seconds. I mean, I've done the GAPS diet and had great results on that and great healing on that, but that doesn't mean it's going to work for everyone. So I kind of have the you do you opinion when it comes to diets, and hopefully it works for you, and I wish you the best, but I will never endorse a particular subcategory of a diet other than what is recommended by the Weston A. Price Foundation. Okay, so you need about 2 cups. Probably one more there. I've done a tooth healing diet. I mean, I've done that too, so, which is totally different. There's just a lot. There's people out there with, you know, blood sugar issues, and people who have pancreas issues, and people who have no gallbladder. And it's like, there's too many factors to say one thing is good for everyone. Okay, so that's about 2 cups of hash browns. The next thing we're gonna need is a red pepper. These are a nice long variety I grew in my garden this year. I'm loving these. When they're like little baby peppers on the plant, they kind of look like a spicy pepper, but they are not. It's a nice sweet bell. Okay, so thank you for shredding the cheese. Did that cheese feel okay, the texture?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I had Nevaeh grind up some of our homemade cheddar goat cheese, which is why it's white, because it's out of a goat. That's going to be going in these wraps as well. Probably won't add this entire red bell pepper, but I mean, if your family really loves it, go for it. I should probably stir this. I forgot about my ground beef over here. Pretty much done. So let's finish with the red pepper, huh? Whoa. I also want to say, whoever did this for me, you are amazing. Because you took what was a very, very, very dark week and put a smile on my face this weekend. Because one of you subscribers went on to the link that's down below in the description box for my wish list on Amazon and bought me these amazing bread pans. So I smiled so big when I got these. So if it was you, thank you so much. This meant so much to me, you have no idea. This was really, really nice. Thank you so much. It also pointed out to me that I needed to update my wish list. Because I haven't had anyone order anything off of it in years, so a lot of the things that were on there were like unavailable. But it was a really wonderful surprise and really encouraging. So thank you if you are watching and you were the one that sent me those bread pans. I'm going to leave the last red pepper chunk. It's just too much red pepper if I don't stop. And I think we should probably get this ground beef out of the pan before I burn it. Okay, sliding it on over. We're going to go ahead and sprinkle the ground beef. Like I said, you can use breakfast sausage if you want. I'm going to do more of a dinner style thing. To me, breakfast sausage isn't really dinner. So I'm just going to sprinkle with some chili powder. I'm just kind of toss it a little bit, and then we're going to move over to the plate. I'm starting to not be happy in this pan over here, Bree. Starting to burn down to the bottom. Okay. Okay. Now we're not on fire over here anymore, which is good. The last ingredient that's going to go in with our potatoes is a yellow onion. This one's from my garden, so it's got a little dirt on it on the outside. But I'm just going to put a small one. If your family likes lots of onion, put in some more. My girls like onion, but my husband does not. So we're just going to go with on the smaller side onion. I had some really big, beautiful onions in my garden this year. So I'm happy to say this is a smaller one. Just 2 years ago, this onion would have been big in my opinion for my garden. All right. And I typically quarter my onions before I put them into here. Tray keeps on sticking. And I'm going to turn this burner back on We want it to be nice and hot. And we're going to add some lard to it and then add this stuff. All right. So we're going to add some lard to our pan here. The whole day it's been raining here, so it's been kind of a gloomy day. Thank you, Bree. I always sprinkle my hash browns with garlic powder. That's onion powder, that'll work. Hang on a second, wrong one. Garlic powder or granules. And paprika. Smoked paprika is good too. Am I lucky enough to have salt in there? No, I'm not. Let me track down the salt. Are you taking the salt? No. That was a long sound. Here it is. Like you weren't sure if you were hiding it.
I'm going to give you tortillas.
Okay. The original recipe that I got this from called for frozen hash browns. But it's just as easy to take that dicer and just dice up a potato into hash brown sizes. Those tortillas are so pretty. You guys see those? So big. You're doing great, Bree.
Thanks.
Look at you go. So we had as a review, we had the 16 eggs and 1 cup of milk. Then we got our scrambled eggs, okay? And then we had essentially 1.5 pounds of ground beef that was sauteed, and we added chili powder to it. And then we have the tortillas, and we've got these yummy hash browns cooking on up with onion and red bell pepper.
Yeah.
Okay. I gotta get in there with flippers. Nice. There goes another tortilla that's done. Here, you can use that. Let's leave a circle on them anyway. Thank you. Perfect. I'm thankful for the rain because it's like knocking all the dust down. So that's good. Now it's just up to my lungs to get rid of the rest of it. I love hash browns, and I love hash browns with that cutter because they aren't like super thin. It's more like a rectangular chunk of potato, and they crisp up really, really nice, and it's like substantial hash browns, which is nice. The tortillas we started earlier today, those are sourdough tortillas. If you don't have time to make sourdough tortillas, or you don't have access to sourdough tortillas, you could go buy sprouted tortillas. They do sell those in the stores. That'd be the next best alternative. sticky spots on the bottom of this pan because of the ground beef I left in here a little bit too long. Need it?
Yep.
Thank you. Just adding some more lard to the pan. I'm not using olive oil or anything like that, Crisco. Those are fats that when you heat them up, they are not beneficial to your body. They are very, very fragile, and so the molecules knock together and creates damage to it, and so when you eat it, it's not beneficial to the body. Olive oil is a great product for things like mayonnaise or salad dressings, that sort of thing. For cooking, you want the old, healthy fats. So the ones our ancestors used, you know, the people who didn't have high blood pressure, high cholesterol. Yeah, those people. So you want a semi-solid. So the original Crisco, that was actually healthy, was lard, right? Or tallow. Those two are great. Butter, also great. Duck fat, goose fat, also great. If you don't have any of those and you have some coconut oil, that'll work too. Just want to make sure that the cooking fats that you are cooking with are semi-solids at room temperature, not liquids. Avocado oil, another great oil to use in a cold application. But when you heat avocado oil, it's not as stable as your traditional fats, for number one. And number two, it's been proven in clinical studies to cause damage to human DNA when it's heated. So another fat that you are not going to want to cook with. Make some yummy dressing, but not heated up. This is just about done. And if you want to look into some of this stuff, you can get on westonaprice.org. They have a ton of free information on their website of all the different fats and all the research they've done concerning those fats. You can also get Sally Fallon's book, Nourishing Traditions. It talks in there in detail about all the fats and why they're healthy and why they're not. It just takes doing some of your own research. This is almost done, I think. And then we're going to start assembling these. How many more do you have to make, Bree?
This is my last one.
Okay. You're almost soft enough. Hopefully everybody is having a great day. It's been a better week than last week. For us here, yesterday we made, how many gallons is back there? 4 gallons of sriracha sauce that's fermenting. It's crazy. I'm missing comment. Hang on a second. Nikki says, hi Crystal, I got a question on storing empty mason jars. Can I stack them on top of each other? And should I keep the bands and lids on them so the rims don't crack? So I store mine back on the shelf where they were. I don't know how many I have after they're in here that are empty anymore. Oh, I have some. Hang on, I'll show you. Just a second. Oh, how do I do this? It's a new stand. Hang on, bear with me. Okay, so pantry. So all the way at the very, very top are empty ones. So as the bottom shelf fills, I bring more stuff down. This is all the same stuff. And then as I empty jars, they go back up. That's one option. If you don't have that option, I would not stack jars. My reasoning behind that is because they can fall over. There's not really a good way to store them other than, usually if I'm going to store them in something other than on my shelf, it would be like in boxes, like keep the boxes for the jars themselves. That works out quite well, actually. I've also stored them in the Azure Standards, those big boxes that you buy the fruit in, the yellow ones. That fits about 12 jars in it, quart-sized jars. Works really, really well. All right, these are finally browning up here. The rings, I have a piece of fabric. I can go grab that too really quick. The rings, I put them on a piece of fabric. Just any piece of fabric. And hang them. You just tie it. And just hang it on like a nail or something. That's how I store all of the rings when I'm not using them. Hope that helps, Nikki. Okay. Starting over, Homestead says, what kind of lard? So lard comes from pigs. I'm sure you already knew that. But we're looking for optimally, if you can render it yourself, that's really great. Really, really great would be lard from pigs that have been on the pasture. Pastured pig lard. But even regular store lard is better to buy store lard than buy store Crisco. So it really depends on what your budget is. I'm also not going to be one of those YouTubers that's like, oh, you have to buy everything organic, because I know some people can't. My goal with this channel is not to push everyone into affording organic, but to push everyone into, like, you know, cooking from scratch. Let's start there. Because that's a ground that most people can afford. And in most cases, it's actually cheaper per serving than processed foods. I've got a big sticky mess in the bottom of this pan, so we're going to clean it up before we do anything else. Are you done with the other pan?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So, how I clean my cast iron pans, you guys. So add a little bit of water when it's still really hot. Let it simmer for a second, and we'll just use that back pan over there. But then all the hard cooked out stuff comes right off of this pan. I'll let it cool, and then I will clean it with some water in the sink. So that's how I get the hard, stuck on stuff on the bottom of my cast iron pans off. I know there's more comments, just give me 1 second. I'm going to move this out of the way. The kids are watching Curious George with Dad in the background. That's what the noise is. Okay. Hey, Julie. Hey, Jackie. You're welcome, Stormy. Julie has a question. Since I caught you live, do you can or freeze pumpkin? I'm trying to decide because my freezer space is a premium. Yes, Julie, I can mine. I can it in a puree. I don't follow the rules. I've been doing it for 3 years and it's amazing. I think it might actually be in my cookbook. Maybe. I don't know if I was that brave. I tried not to put too much crazy stuff out there. I can't even find my cookbook right now. Check the cookbook. But all it is I bake the pumpkin and then I puree it really well. And if you're going to add like your pumpkin seasonings, do that. And then fill my jars, try and debubble the best I can, apply the lids, rings, 3-hour water bath. That's it. Never had it ferment and explode. Never got poisoned. It's amazing to be able to grab canned pumpkin off the shelf. Yeah, Julie, I haven't forgotten about that. It's just been really, really crazy. The zucchini lemon sourdough bread. Julie says that she puts the rings on hers so the tops don't get chipped. My tops get chipped only if I leave the empty jars low enough for children to rummage through them. Then they get chipped. Okay, so let's do this. This is still somewhat warm, but I'm going to warm it up just a little bit more just to make sure it's not going to crack. And then we're going to fill it up with some ingredients. This is a recipe where you can take this and you can fry them in a pan till they're nice and crispy, or put them in the oven. We're just going to fry it to the pan till it's nice and crispy. I never did understand why pumpkin chunks were less dense than a puree. That's what I'll say about the canning standards for pumpkin. I don't understand that. So I've gone the other way completely now. So there's no going back. Okay, so the first layer of these yummy burritos, and you can freeze these. We're just going to eat them for dinner because, like I said, I've got probably 10 dozen eggs sitting on my counter right now. And so we got to use some of this up. Okay. Oops, stay in there. Okay, so first is either your breakfast sausage or your taco seasoned ground beef. And if you have tortillas that you want to roll, great, go for it. We're going to fold these in half. These are homemade tortillas. I don't want them to crack. And it's okay. We can put more when they're folded in half anyway. Okay. Next ingredient is really, really hot hash browns. I should have just grabbed hot flavored hash browns here. We're going to go ahead and sprinkle those on top. Here we go. This looks so good. So same as the applesauce as far as consistency goes. Yes, Julie. Yeah, I don't. Sometimes if the pumpkin was kind of like dry, if you know what I mean. I know you're going to know what I mean. Then I add a little bit of water. Just looking for like a super smooth consistency on the pumpkin. Okay, I'm adding cheddar cheese. And this is white cheddar cheese because it came from a goat. We're still working through our goat cheddar. Okay. So that's going to stay there. It's going to get nice and melted in the inside, and then it's already done. Dinner's already done. You can add guacamole to this. You could add salsa, sour cream, all the above. Delicious. And it's not that hard of a meal. It's really, really simple, actually. You could even add salsa to the inside if you want. Some of my kiddos like salsa and others don't, so I'm kind of stuck with a rather drier Mexican burrito until they get their hands on it, and then they can decide what else they want to put on there. Like Naomi, she won't eat it if it has salsa in it. And William, sometimes he likes salsa, other times he doesn't, so. I'm looking forward to my cow cheese being done. Not that I don't like goat cheese. I like goat cheese. Hey, Audra. So, let's see about this close up. All right, there it is. Mexican breakfast burritos. A little bit of sour cream. But you guys can see how huge that is. Like that's a whole thing, a whole meal. So we'll add some toppings to the inside for whoever ends up claiming this. And then it'll be made to however they want. This cast iron skillet's only over medium heat. I don't take my cast iron above medium heat because then that's how you lose your seasoning. Yeah, Julie, I am just drowning in extra eggs. And I'm just like, the kids are over egg bakes. They're over, yeah, you name it. It has a whole bunch of eggs in it. Like I tried like the egg pizza crusts. I've tried like the grain-free waffle recipe in my cookbook. That uses up a lot of eggs. But it's one of those deals like we did gaps for 1.5 years. And so we ate a lot of grain-free stuff. And so when I make it, I kind of get people who get sick of it really, really fast because they pretty much had to live on it for that long. So, and then scrambled eggs, like they'll eat them like one day. The next breakfast, they're like, really? Can't we like do something different with them? I don't know. I made a homemade orange Julius on Sunday. That was really good. Really, really good. And I put egg yolks in that because you can't tell, you know, because it's orange like an orange anyway. But still, like how many egg yolks are you going to put in that? Yeah, I'm not really exactly sure how I got behind on using eggs, but all of a sudden my chickens just started laying back in the hen house, maybe. I'm not really sure. But I have a lot. These are just gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous tortillas. Bree, these are gorgeous tortillas, honey. You did such a good job.
Thank you.
Yeah. Waiting for the cheese to melt. She just makes them so good. Why would I make them when she can do them like that? Okay. There it goes. There's another one. The cheese is hanging off of it. These are so good. All right. Running out of space. You could also put beans in these if you wanted. You know, cooked beans, black beans, pinto beans. The possibilities are endless. If you had some cheese sauce. Hang on. Stormy says that they look from that. Phenomenal. Julie, do you make Dutch baby? Yes, I've made sourdough Dutch baby. That only uses 6 eggs. I mean, I know it's still something, but I'll do Dutch babies, and then I will mix in like the regular recipe for Dutch baby, which is 2 cups of starter, 6 eggs, and a little bit of milk. And then I will mix in diced apples now, which is so good. And then cinnamon. Like I dump an excessive amount of cinnamon, probably like 2-3 tablespoons, and then just take a fork and swirl it in, bake it, take it out, cover it in butter, and drizzle it with honey. And the kids eat it for breakfast. So good. I don't know. I should have just done straight egg burritos. This way it's not, you know, as in my kids' face, the eggs anyway. I did make some of that egg pudding. That used up some of them, but definitely not a lot. I just need to make some more of that, I think. That'll use up 2 of the 10 dozen. There we go. These are big burritos. It's another benefit to not rolling them is that you can get more protein into each one without it them having to eat more of the wrap. We've got some filling that's spilled out here. I didn't even like write down the orange Julius recipe, Audra. I don't have it down to a key, you know, have it down tune yet here, but it was a whole orange, coconut oil, gelatin, a little bit of milk, ice cubes. Oh, I put like half a banana in there. I don't know. I think like if I would have had like some homemade, maybe like vanilla pudding or something and put that in there, that would have been really good. It was still good. And it was still like super refreshing. But Was it just like an Orange Julius? No, it wasn't just like an Orange Julius. But I also didn't add like a ton of sugar either, which is what you would be getting in an Orange Julius. It was still really good though. It was so good I hauled it all the way to Bible study and drank it in front of everybody. Hash browns, cheese. Whoops. I have a feeling that my husband's going to ask me to make this for him for breakfast on a regular basis. Here it goes. Gonna have to offload some of this extra stuff into someone else's plate here. Get it off with my burner. Fairly Curious George is funny tonight. Hey, Stone's Throw. We're making loaded breakfast burritos. In an attempt for me to use up a whole bunch of eggs that I have sitting on my counter. I don't know that it's really going to be that successful, but at least I used up 16, right? So ground beef that's been seasoned. Scrambled eggs. I'm using my hands because I'm trying to like break up the huge little clumps. There we go. Homemade seasoned hash browns. And top it with homemade goat cheese. You could use cow cheese though. I'm finally starting to teach my older girls how to make the hard cheeses, hard cheddars with the cow's milk, so that's been really, really fun. I want them to be able to know how to do it. If they decide not to do it when they're an adult, that's fine, but at least they know how. There it goes. You guys can't really see that, but it's yummy. It's delicious in there. And like I said, a little bit of salsa or something. Perfect. 5, 6. Okay, so we're going to make one more here. They're becoming quite messy inside my skillet. That's all right. Some of the best food is messy, right? There we go. I saw a recipe for putting lasagna in the inside of a wrap, and I thought, that's actually genius. It's like a portable lasagna. I love Mexican and Italian recipes. Those are my favorite. So combining the two, I was like, oh, yes, sign me up. There we go. Oops. And cheese. If I would have thought ahead more, I probably would have made up some of my dairy-free cheese sauce that's inside my recipe book. Like nacho cheese sauce, and put that in here, because that would have been really good. But I didn't think that far. What's wrong, Boogie Boogie? You want some milk? Okay, just a minute. I think Naomi might be hungry. Mama's just got to cook this last one, okay? We'll get some milk. Would you like some milk?
I think so.
Uh-oh. Yeah, I am. It's okay. She's fine. Come here. Why don't you come sit? I'll get you some milk. Here, sit right here. Sit. Don't touch this. It's hot. Hot. Yeah. Let me get you a cup. Yeah, I know you love to cook. Yep. Just a minute. Very hot. Yeah, I'm coming. Just a minute. Let's find you a straw. Were you watching Curious George? Hot. Hot. This is the only one I can find. And it's like super big. Sorry. Yeah, I'll get you some food in just a minute. Drink your milk. Got it? Okay. She seems pretty solid on that. I hear you. We did some water glassing of eggs this year. Anxious to see how they turn out. Looks yummy. So, stones throw acres. The only thing I've learned about water glassing is this. I'm going to tell you this so that if it prevents some heartache on the other end next year for you with that, that's what I want to do. And that is that I stored mine in a 5-gallon. That's it. You want to eat? Okay, just a minute. It's almost finished. This one can be yours. Don't touch. Hot. I stored mine in 5-gallon buckets, and I stacked them, right? And I lost so many eggs. Not because of anything I did, except for that I had stacked my containers. So the reason why that was bad in my case is I stored them in an area hot, yep, hot. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to give this to you with a fork. Then you can go tell Daddy you're ready to eat. Okay? And then Mama's going to finish talking about her thing. Okay? Here, why don't you get yourself a fork out of the dishwasher? Yep. She's ready to have some assistance in eating. Come on. I'll show you what I'm talking about here, Stone Store. Just give me 1 second. You want a spoon? I don't think so. Here. Here, let's take this. Come here. She's going to dig to the dishwasher. This is hers. We can grab some salsa and stuff out of the pantry. Okay, let's go to the pantry. I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about. Okay. So, I stored my water glass eggs in here. My very first winter. It's messy. Forgive it right now, okay? This is how I stored them. See how they're stacked? This is a huge no-no. And the reason why is because this bucket up here is a lot warmer than the bucket that's down there. If you're storing them in a basement or root cellar, right? The coolest spot is on the floor. And in my house, this is concrete flooring. So the coolest spot's on my floor. So I had the least loss in the bottom bucket. But the higher up I stacked, the more loss I had. In fact, the top bucket, that was the third bucket up, I lost almost half of my eggs. And what those eggs look like is, it looks as though they have been expanding and contracting with the rise and fall of temperature. And what ends up happening is those eggs crack. They almost explode from the inside. And so you'll go to pick them up and the shells have cracked outward. And when the inside of the egg comes in contact with the solution your water glass in, it becomes kind of looks like a scrambled egg, but it doesn't smell very nice. So what I had learned was, in my case, and if you are using a root cellar or a basement with concrete floors and not a constant temperature room, all of your water glass egg buckets must be in contact with the floor. So in a single layer in a basement, single layer in a root cellar, single layer here. This is not water glass eggs. This is water glass eggs on the bottom. And I have rice and wheat, okay? Do not stack water glass eggs like this. It's very, very painful to open up them and lose hundreds of eggs. That is my advice on the water glassing. Otherwise, love water glassing. You store them the right way. 18 months down the road, you can open up those eggs and use them for whatever you want. It's great. But do not stack them. That's my advice on that one. I have cheese over here too going. Everything's such a mess in here though. You're going to have to forgive it. You're going to have to forgive it. It's a busy time of year, right? So I've got cheddar that can probably be sealed now. Drying over here. There it is. It's the latest cheddar wheel. And I think I have enough milk again to make some Greek yogurt. I think that's what I'm going to make tonight. But that's just drying, and I think it's pretty close to being done, so we can seal it. Anyway, that is my advice for the water glass eggs. Don't make the same mistake I did. All right, Allie's on. Hey, Allie. Other than that, look at all these people over here. They're all eating without me. Say hello.
Hello.
So, I better let you guys go, but thanks for joining me, making dinner with me. And if you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Should have an Azure haul next week. Depending on when that comes, it'll depend on if I have a live or not. But just keep tuned into the channel here, and I'll keep you guys posted. Wow, they're so quiet. They're eating, Allie. They're eating. The food is good. That's what that means. All right, you guys have a good night, and I'll see you guys next week. Take care.
I like it.
You like it?